Jeffry Lim. I can see, I think most of you are, any one of you from colleges? Front row? Probably all? No. Engineers? Working, all right, okay. Technical problem. Okay, basically, let me introduce myself. I started up my first company when I graduated, which is year 2004, and I have my first office 1st of March 2005. This is my office in one stop, and this is my first interview. It's a mobile software company, and from there, yeah, I think probably we went on. I started up with 20,000 ringgit, 5K from myself, 5K from my partner, 10K loan from my parents and my deputy dean from the college. And first year we did 380,000. Second year we did 800,000. Third year we actually break through the 1 million revenue point, and my company was sold for more than 1 million. We did a revenue of 7.8 million at the year 2008 October. So from there, I started up my second company, which is involved in healthcare and healthcare system and clinic automation system. We were featured in most of the press, all Chinese press, The Star, The Age, and so on. This company merged with a public listed company in Malaysia. And in actual fact, I became half retired around year 2010 and went on to search for a new purpose in life. And I think probably you can click through it because there's a lot of interviews. Click until I became a counselor. Yep. Okay. My second company, which is on a medical software system, we did our launching in year 2008. I actually invited the Chief Minister of Penang, Tan Sri Kosugun, to come launch for me. Like today, Mount Enterprise invited me. The thing is, during that year, something happened. Penang had a change of government. So my letter to the Chief Minister office was, I think, March. So when we did our launching, Kosugun stepped down as Chief Minister and Lim Guan took over. So we are the first company to be launched by our current Chief Minister, Lim Guan himself, in year 2008. In the middle is our partner, Microsoft Malaysia manager, my good friend Peter. Okay, during my entrepreneur experience, I was invited by the state government to become one of the council member for KICT and K Economy, where this council actually designed the current science park and Batu Kawan, the whole Batu Kawan. For example, if we are having a meeting now, the person sitting beside me will be Intel's MD, another person will be Motorola MD, or Agilent's MD or VP. So what we do is we decide what to do with the science park, what is the planning for science park. Most of the time, probably you don't really know that science park, when we design it, we want the place to really have factories, not for people to come and buy land and then, cha kway teow, let the land increase in value, then sell it for a profit. So when the state government sell the land, 2 years you must submit your plan. Within 5 years you must build a factory. You cannot sell it within 10 years. So this is the criteria to buy a land. And this is how we actually designed Science Park and Batu Kawan. And then I went on to become a counselor because Lim Guan Yin came to launch my company. And then I'm still involved in a lot of the counseling of the state government. So he asked me, do you want to be the first batch of counselor which represent NGO to sit in the Pakatan Raya government? So I actually don't have any political party until now. And I think you can slide it through. Yeah, this is Batu Kawan. You can slide everything through. These are the newspaper cuttings that I had when I was a counselor. So we did a lot of things like paperless government. Now all counselors and government officials, we don't need papers anymore. We use iPad. Okay, I think we can jump to slide 2 because the main topic for today is entrepreneurship. You don't want to look at all my newspaper cuttings. There's too many. You can jump to slide 2. Yeah, the folder. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. Everyone wants to understand why do we want to start up. I'm actually, when I graduated from Adelaide Uni, I came back, I received a letter. The letter is in my house. It's actually Agilent recruitment letter. I'm immediately Agilent staff if I wanted to be an engineer without interviewing. So I went for the interview, and the expected salary that I will get is 2,800. And honestly speaking, my first dream was to become a millionaire. And my criteria to obtain the first dream is actually getting a 200,000 BMW Z4, 800,000 bungalow, and $500,000 cash on hand. Why $500,000? Because the fixed FD interest rate was 6%. 6% per annum. So you get about 30K per year from interest. Divide by 12 is about 2K. So I think one person can survive with 2K. So that was my first dream. You know, I calculated with allowance and my basic salary, if I save 2,000 per year, you take me 62.5 years to accumulate 1.5 million. 2,000 saving per month. You take about, so I was 24 and a half years old. If I were to be a millionaire, it would be 87 years old, 1.5 million. And I think to myself, would I want to be an old man sitting back at home, you know, looking at my grandchild driving my BMW Z4, and then waiting to die, and then so that my kids can inherit my money from the bank? So there was only two options. One is you have a smaller desire. The second is you become your own boss. So I actually choose the latter. And when I start up, three main factors actually made me decide what should I do. First thing is professionalism. I studied telecommunication. And to start up, you must actually use what you have, your professionalism. And second thing is my passion. I grew up where my youth, now you have smartphone, you have laptops and so on. When I grew up, during my high school, there was no computer. My first computer actually came at the age of 15. And I created my first website that year itself. So I started up, you saw my newspaper cutting and so on. I told you my history, and then it went on. And now I think life changed a bit. Once you have a bit of money, you tend to want to do something that you like, which is now changing to passion, value, and talent. Okay, this is a letter from NTU. I was recruited, you know, NTU gave me a degree, a scholarship. It was material engineering. So I told my dad, I actually went into NTU, studied for 1 semester, and then I told my dad, this is not what I want for my future. So I told him I loaned the fees, because we need to return the fees to the government. So I loaned it from my dad, and I came back, I got another scholarship, I studied in India, and then went to Australia. So this is one of the turning point of my life. You decide your future. So when I came back to Penang, I met 2 persons that actually changed my life. One is actually on the left is Job Street's CEO, Mark Chang. So I met him at the age of 19, year 2000. He came to Inti to have a talk. So it was something like today. The crowd is less than 10%. I think there was only 5 students. Then he came and shared his vision of Job Street vision. Job Street was just a little company in Equatorial with less than 20 staff. So he shared his vision, what he wanted Job Street to be, what Job Street future is, and I think today everyone knows Job Street. I don't need to explain to you what is Job Street. And the next thing is, the next person that I need to thank is Tan Sri Kosugun. So I wanted to move to Singapore after I came back to start up. So Tan Sri Kos told me that the state government will be promoting technopreneurship. Stay, and you won't regret it. And yeah, this is Agilent's offer. So I decided not to choose, and I show you, this is my first office at One Stop, my staffs. So we started with 3 persons. These are the first batch staff that I had. Everyone sees people success. You know, you see, when we have everything. Miyok saw me driving my Porsche Boxster when I had a talk last year. So, but then, do you know that we go through a lot of tough times? This is actually a burning bus. You can't see very clearly. It's a burning bus. It's on the highway. So to save money for the company, I normally travel to KL or Johor on the last bus, which is 12:30. So that 12:30 from Penang, I travel to KL, I reach morning. I finish my meeting from morning to night, then I take another bus back to Penang. So, you know, I travel a lot. You see a lot of things. This accident happened on one of my trips. So the whole bus in front got burned. Then there's a motorcyclist. I think the bus tried to avoid the motor crashing into the motorcyclist. The motorcyclist got knocked down. So, you know, halfway you don't know what to do and so on. Yeah. Okay, this is Pudu Raya. I always have my laptop because we need to do presentation and so on. These are foreign workers sleeping in Pudu Raya. All sleeping. So you can see everyone lying down, sleeping there. I cannot rest. Why? Because I'm carrying my laptop. I can be robbed anytime. So I have to sit down, you know, do something, read some books, and wait for the first train to come, which is 6 a.m. in the morning. So that is the first train. It looks like nighttime, but it's actually the first train that comes to the station. And you know, I even encounter 7-Eleven without staff, because probably it's during shift. They are changing shift. So 5 a.m. in the morning, I go to 7-Eleven. I cannot buy bread or water. And this is Job Street. I had a meeting with them. It was 7 a.m. when I reached the office, and nobody is on the street. I cannot call Mark and tell him that, you know, hey Mark, I'm here. Why not we have breakfast at 7 or 8? He's only in the office at 9 a.m. Yeah. Okay. My mobile company, we start from small customer, you know, SME. like Mount Enterprise, and I start talking. The first customer that I had is Banner King. I saw a banner on the street, Banner King. I thought to myself, this might be a good person to talk to license my SMS software. So I called into the shop. I asked for an appointment, and the person that picked up said, the boss is not in, but I can talk to you. Why not you come to the office? And then after I go to the office, I talk to him, finish the meeting. He told me, I'm the boss. And I think this is a good thing because he tried my system. Immediately people responded to the system. We blast out SMS. Within 5 minutes, people call in and ask what is the SMS about. And this is how we started small. And now my friends, all the Penang companies, multinational, public listed company, they are my customers. SEC, Delta, Intel, Agilent, Sony, Samsung. And then my turning point came when we closed a deal with Carlsberg, Malaysia. This is Carlsberg. This is the receptionist. Behind it is actually a pub where they entertain their suppliers and customers. So Carlsberg came, and it's a sales automation system. Carlsberg got few thousand sales girls all over Malaysia, so they need to know daily sales, what time the girls start work, what time they finish work, how much sales they did, how much inventory, and so on. So we actually create a platform through mobile and then link it to the ERP system. Carlsberg Malaysia became my customer, and then Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia. So we went regional within second year of my startup. This is me when I came back from Australia. Oh, yep, okay. Okay, this is me at year 2008. So this is my first company, and this is last year when I bought my Porsche. And we can go to second slide, the next slide. Okay, I want my talk to be interactive. You can ask me any question anytime. Stop me. Normally when I do talk, I do sharing, I want to be close to you. I would normally sit down with you. But today, because the camera have to roll, so I have to stand within this box. That's why we have a distance.
Well, don't worry, Jeffrey. We're opening questions and answer sessions to the floor. So if you guys would like to ask any questions, here's the mic for you. Do you guys have any questions regarding entrepreneurship?
Okay, from my first company, I went to second. And then now we are actually a group where I do property investment. We buy land. I have 3 agencies, property agencies. And then now, this year, we are developing. This is actually, I can share to you my current business and how it works. Okay, normally, we do partnership on development. It might be with landowner or with, we buy the land itself. So this is a development that we're doing in Tambun. I'm actually building a hotel, service apartment, and a shop lot. So people might ask, how did you turn from a technopreneur to a developer, right? In actual fact, I was involved in my first company is a mobile company. My second is a healthcare software company. Then I became a counselor. And when I became a counselor, I represented the Chinese Chamber of Commerce. So most of my members are actually developers. So they came to me with a lot of problems. They face probably like JKR give them problem. They need to restructure the road. Or the PBA give them problem because they need to build a water tank. So how to adjust all these things, I was the middleman. So I learned from, 1, 2, 3, ABC to everything. And then after 2 years, I became a professional. So the main point about my talk is actually when you do something, you must learn everything and you become professional. Once you become professional, people respect you for that. And I got my respect from most of my developer friends, and some of them told me, why not you venture into property? So I said, oh, that might be a good idea since I half retired and I don't know what to do. So I put in some money to a property agency. I started renting, selling, and buying houses, and then we do our own investment. I can even teach you in buying property without using money. That would be another session. So then, after 2 years in property, I thought to myself, since my friends can build, why can't I? So this year, we are submitting a plan. It will be a mixed development, service apartment, hotel, and I'll be partnering with Butterworth Hospital. I can't announce it yet because it's not official yet. And it will be something like linking with the hospital. We bring in patients from Medan and Thailand, and then they do their medical checkup and all the servicing here, and then they'll be staying at my hotel. And these are some of the content and infrastructure in the hotel, you know, Sky Lounge, share office, and so on. So from one industry, I moved to another. So we become so-called multi-investment. So it became a group. And it's in Mandarin. So this tells you about my job function and so on. Then we can go to the next. Okay, you might ask me, from an engineer, I came back when I started up, I started teaching as well. I was a lecturer for INTI. And then I went to do part-time lecturing at USM. So 2006, I was appointed industrial advisor for INTI. 2007 for USM ComScience. At 2011, I became industrial advisor for whole of USM. And I think I'm industrial advisor for all the colleges, almost all the colleges in Penang. And at 2008, I was invited by MOHE, Ministry of Higher Education. Each year, I go to meeting, and then we decide what to add in or to take out from the syllabus of computer science faculty, the whole of Malaysia. And in how to achieve this is, I always tend to tell everyone that you must be professional. If you are the top in the industry, people will look for you for the advice. So during that time, I was only 26 years old, and when I did a talk in USM, the professor actually came in, and the dean asked me whether I can do a yearly talk with the professors and the master students. I tell them what they should do and what they should focus in terms of technology. And after 2007, each year I'll be the judge for their degree and master final year project. And you know, I call it chasing dreams and achieving them. And you set goals and you try to make it become true. And I'm doing it up to today. And during my counselorship, and also, you know, all this experience with the state government, we design parks, science parks, and industrial areas. And we, as a counselor, I even decide what to do with the whole city, you know. And now I think to myself this year, since I did all this, why not build a city? This is my dream this year, to build a city. So this is actually Thailand, Betong, which is at the border between Malaysia and Thailand. Betong is linked to Penggala Hulu, Perak. It's actually from Penang Island to Betong. It takes about 127 kilometers. From Ipoh, Perak to Betong, it takes about 146 kilometers. So when I was a counselor, we did a lot of so-called advisory trips and networking trips to different countries, China, Thailand, and some other countries. And I had a lot of good friends. So these friends are actually mayor or chief minister or the councillors over there. So my age, actually there's a very big gap because most of them are actually 50 or 60, and but I actually don't care, and they actually don't care. So a lot of times they ask me for opinion. I don't call it advice, opinion on what to do. Then this year I decided, you know, my good friend from Betong, Mayor Betong, he told me he want to make Betong a special economic zone. So I told him that you can mimic Penang in terms of tourism, then you can copy Labuan in terms of a special economic zone. So he appointed me as their economic advisor for the state and city last month. So my dream is to build a city. I'll be building a leisure city in Betong, Thailand, if you know I can make it. I don't know yet. You know, this is a dream that I have. It's in Mandarin because Betong, they only, you know, most of them speak Chinese and Thai and English. English is less. So we'll be creating 20,000 jobs, and we'll be putting around 50 million ringgit into the investment. So Zone A, I cut my future plan into different zoning. Zone A will be leisure, you know, for teenagers, to attract teenagers over. Zone B will be, oh sorry, I moved too fast. Okay, Zone B will be tax-free and shopping. You know, maybe Chatuchak from Bangkok, I move it to Betong. Then we don't need to go to Bangkok. You just drive to Betong, then you can have Chatuchak over there. So all these things, you know, I actually write it down, I tell people, and I try to make it become reality. Zone C will be hotel and restaurant. Zone 4 will be pubs and disco. And then there might be so-called, we call it special leisure. I can't tell you yet because they haven't finalized the decision whether to have or not to have. And we'll be building offices and also residential over there. Then there'll be golf courses, driving range, shooting clubs, and so on. Okay, it's actually under one of my NGO, Malaysia Investment Association, and I think you can jump to slide 1. Yeah. Okay, this session now, can I do a Q&A session or discussion kind of a session? Yep. Okay, it'll be boring for me if I keep on speaking to you. You can ask any question. I think when I do this, most of you will be shy to ask. Anyone have any question? Okay.
Well, come on, ladies and gentlemen, we encourage participation. So if you have any questions for Mr. Jeffry Lim, feel free to ask them.
Okay, when I was young, at the age of 25 or 26, I met a lot of entrepreneur or businessmen. Probably one of my friends, SEC, you know SEC? Star Electronics, you buy all the electronic goods, TV, LED, and so on. Okay. Joseph is the boss and the CEO. He bought a factory in Bangladesh. It was 8 million. So he told me, year 2005, I bought a factory. And year 2006, he said DH House is renting from him, ground floor. So he'll be moving upstairs. And he say now it's valued at 13 million. 2007, he said DHL is expanding because he had 3 acres of land. He only utilized 1. So he's building for DHL and then renting it for them. So he say now that DHL signed an agreement and he's building, so the current value of his land and factory is 20-something million. So last year when he came back to me, he said he wants to sell the whole thing for 40-something million. So during the middle time, I thought to myself, why a person can buy multi-million property, not multi-million, it's 10 or hundreds of million property, and you know, all these things they do investment. How actually they do it? You know, when I first started up, my first year revenue is 380K. 380K. I only had a net profit of 60,000. After giving it half to my parents and my deputy dean, I am only left with 30K. So my partner and I each split 15,000. So I went on to buy my first property, which is my own house. No, my first car. So second year is only 800,000. So you get about, you know, double it up, 60K. So I bought my car and my house. I got nothing left. Now where do I get the money to further expand my business? You know, I save a lot. You know, I take the bus down. I don't stay in a hotel. Save the money for the company. So I started to ask this question, and I asked my friend, how did you do it? No? And I let you ask now. If you don't ask, I don't have the chance to tell you. There's a lot of things. You know, my Joseph actually had the SLK 200. SLK 200. That time, I bought a second-hand Harrier. My Harrier is still with me. No, so it was more than $500,000. How could I afford it if each year I'm only doubling my net profit, 30 to 60, 60 to 120, up to 10 years I'm only at the point of 200,000 profit. So I can't even afford the SLK. Where on earth to get the money to buy the SLK or even the factory itself? Impossible. So you got any question? Go on. Okay. It's actually a secret. You know, I tell you, but you might not everyone can try it. Joseph started with credit card. How did he do it? He had nothing. He's a technician, and the boss is actually his dad, old electronic shop. So he only had 1,800 salary, 1987. So he thought to himself, he want to be a boss. With 1,008, with a family and a daughter, how can he even open a shop? Impossible. So he told his wife, he thought of a plan, you know, get money from the bank. How? So credit card. That was how he started. I can tell you my story as well. So he saved for 1 year, 1,000 each month, 10,000. Then he paid for 3 months EPF, which is around 4,000 per month. So he told the bank he had 20,000 salary. He made a pay slip himself with the enterprise. Then with the 20,000 pay slip, he go and apply credit card. The credit card gave him a credit limit of 60,000. There was 26 bank that time, 26. So he go and apply for 20 bank. Each gave him 60K to 100K. He swiped out 10. He got more than $500,000. He opened his first shop. Then he used the other 10 to start serving the first 10 installment. Then the shop actually started profit. You understand or not? Then he used the first shop to mortgage to the bank and open the second. Then now he have around 20 plus, I think, and he have a factory. You know, he started with 0. So I asked him, why and how did you dare to do such a thing? What if you become bankrupt? What happened to your family? He told me, the worst scenario is I go back and work for my dad and get 1,008 and I continue to live my life. So what? Nothing bad will happen. Okay? My story started up with 20,000. Then 400,000 revenue, 800, and then we top it to 1 million. Okay. One day, before I sell my company, the public listed they come to me, the buyer came to me and asked me, you need to have a paid up of 1 million. You have the revenue, but your paid up is 20,000. We want to buy you because you have growth. And then they are public listed company. They buy it for merger and acquisition. That is another topic. Purposes. So they say, I want to buy you, but you have to have more than 1 million paid up, so I can buy you for more than 1 million. So where to get the 1 million? I had 7 million revenue. So what? My profit is probably 600,000. And we have a staff strength of 30 plus to 40. So each month, my salary is up 100,000. So profit comes in, out. It's only on paper. So at the year end, you take out, it's probably 500,000-600,000. I won't get it in time. Where to get the paid up? That secret, I can't tell you. You have to come to Miles' next event. So the bottom line is you have to take risks. And I learned from, I met Berjaya Group, Vincent Tan. I met IOI, boss, and so on. I met Parkson, William Chang. And then I also asked them the same thing. How on earth did you create a conglomerate? How on earth? How on earth did you build a city or a resort, multi-country? So they told me ABC. It's a long story. Then I thought to myself, if Lim Gotong can do it, they can do it, why can't I? So maybe if I were, a bit less brave, I would choose to be a millionaire and stay put, live a good life, drive my sport car, be in Penang, half retired, and then just stay put. I can retire. But I thought to myself, if there is a chance to be on par, why not do it? Okay, and Mark came to me when I was a college student, and then my mentors, who are all these giants, they also helped me. And if somebody asks me whether I can do a talk, this is a talk that I did since last year. Last year when I talked to some of my friends, and I seldom come out nowadays. I'm launching my book this year, which doesn't tell you that much of a secret. I will tell you, how I did all this, first startup, second startup, and so on. So the secret is on how to manage money, how to actually become friend with money. And when we deal to a point, you do multi-country investment. So that is what I'm doing starting this year.
Year in, year out, we have been hearing this statement, economy is no good. You yourself have demonstrated that even though we went through those hard waves and so on, you managed to sail through. Right now, even going out to build a city itself, not the Malaysia or Bingskun. How did you manage to sail through those rough tide? Oh,
okay. Okay, I don't want to talk about the negative part, but there was one time I even thought of killing myself, honestly. Up to a point, I tried to outlive my life. Outlive means we try to do too many things at one time. My friend who is what is your age? 67. Okay. There's a friend. His age is about 67, 68. few years ago. He told me, "You are living an old man's life." An old man's life. So, you know, we do so much thing that burden ourselves that my body cannot take it. And these 2 years I start to slow down. So there was times that, very hard time. And even now it's still hard time. It depends how you look at it. My hard time is, I bought a lot of lands and, we want to develop that. Just now I show you the hotel and so on. I have, I can live so nicely for the rest of my life. But you want to go to the next level. So you take the risk. Then, when you take the risk, you want to go to the next level, you have to take responsibility. There are very hard times. Still now, there's hard time. So economic crisis come, then we have to let go a bit. I have to go to Thailand or China. So I travel to overseas so often that, 1 month probably I travel overseas 4 to 8 times. 4 to 8 times. And my family, the wife will complain. I try to take her, but she works in Agilent. And I want her to have her own life. You don't come to me, you don't work for me. I don't want her to work for me. And you have to understand that nothing comes free. I told you that I don't even sleep in a hotel. I try to keep the cost as low as possible when I start up. So when you see sometimes all these things, I can't even buy bread and water, and you think of the future. No bread and water. I can't even sleep because I worry that I get robbed. And now investing in a lot of things, you take risks until that people think you are crazy. Why not stop? Or not stop, why not relax a bit? So economic crisis come. If I can withstand it. Why? Because I told you it's multi-country. So even one MDB bankrupt the country, I'm able to save myself. But of course, I need to take risk of whether I want to move what I earn to the other side. I might be killed in Thailand. I invested a lot, people kidnap me, kill me. Not just Thailand. Yes.
Tourism industry at that time down here. I was with the Ministry of Tourism at that time. It was really a wonderful, beautiful place. So it's the right place for you. Is that the reason why you move over to that place?
No, because it's the nearest place overseas. We travel there, it takes about 1 hour plus to drive. So I can come back home early. I can go there morning, come back in night time, and tell my wife, and eat dinner with my wife. I can travel to China as well. So we can travel everywhere. That is just a single point that let me touch the whole of Thailand. Of course, Singapore is expensive, Thailand cheaper. Then I know the mayor, they don't have an airport. So the tourists comes to Penang first. Then I can link them to Betong, and we can do a 4-day, 3-night ASEAN trip. Go to Medan, from Penang go to Medan, come back, or Penang, go to Thailand, come back to Penang, go to Medan, then fly back to China. So it's how you innovate. And this year we are launching a crowdfunding platform. Cannot announce yet, for the property. Then we became, I would say number 1 in the industry, like Chan or us, in our field, technology. So with our experience and knowledge, we can accomplish a lot of things easily. But I started humbly, small, and you go through dangerous path or all the hassle and bustle, then you reach here. Yeah. So Malaysia-wise, I would say we should, pray to Lord, hope all the best, and but you should be prepared. we always be prepared, have a backup plan. So I'm preparing my backup plan. You might be an engineer, or you might be a SME businessman, but when I started my first company, only 3 staff. We went overseas first year. I went to, Invest Penang was created, so they had a overseas trip. Why did I save all the money from all the hotels and all the traveling and so on? That is to keep the money so that I can touch overseas, learn and then expand. So I don't just stay in Penang. I travel to KL, whole of Malaysia. That's where I got to know customer like Carlsberg. If not, then you have to start small, then grow, and then grow bigger. Yeah. Anything else? Can ask any question. Where are you from? Penang. What is your occupation? Oh, I Ching. Picto chat. Okay, very good. I talk about picto chat. I know I Ching's father very well. Okay, so he told me, my daughter want to start up. I said, good, very good. What you want to do? Technology, very good. Do it. So, picto chat started from a humble beginning. 1 person, 2 actually. He met her husband, right? So 2 person. So, how do you grow? She got to know us, learn from the peers, the seniors. I learned from Job Street. So then it's the same process. You start up, you have a business plan, it works, and you say, I want money. So you go and raise fund. Where? You don't know. So you ask your seniors, the successful one. They will tell you, go to Cradle first, then go to MDAC, then go to VC, who are the VCs, pitch, and then prove your case, then get the money, then expand, then earn profit. How many staff you have? How many colleagues you have now? 33. Congratulations. So from 2 to 33. I don't want to ask about the revenue. I asked her personally. Office at Suntec, right? Yep. So these are PictoChat is a very successful case study that I like to talk, because we are all becoming old men. Really, we are becoming. You see, when internet started, Penang have Lelong. Lelong come from Penang. Chari, Job Street, Redstone, and so on. Then moved to our generation, Chan and I, and a few other friends. Then the 3rd generation, there's not many, only a few. So PictoChat is one of the 3rd generation. No, I think still under 30, am I right? Yeah, something like that. Any question from PictoChat? Nowadays, I don't really like to go on press unless I'm required, especially business. This is one of the thing that I started last year. Is actually, I call it Save a Life 1 month, each month. Save a Life a month. We started with WeChat. So I asked a few friends, we had a group, and each of us contribute 50, 80, 100. And then it started to grow. Each month, anyone can nominate a person to save. This is actually a family. The father is actually having, the mother having cancer. The father have diabetes. The son is actually 26 years old, but is 16 kg. 16 kg. He's paralyzed from young. So, each month we got to save. If without money, the family will die because the husband cannot work. If the wife doesn't go for medical checkup and so on, she might die as well. And we have a few more cases. This is a big head baby. The head is as big as bigger than a basketball, and it's only 1 year old. So it's a Malay family. So one of our members' colleague found out, and then they came. We sponsor them. It's not about giving money, because if you give them money, you give too much, they will use the baby to earn money. Sometimes you don't know. This happens a lot of time. So what we do is we started with around 4,000. After that, I call in the press, and everyone through the press, I think had a fund of 18,000. So they had enough for living. Then I actually linked them with GH, the chairman, and the CEO. So in Penang GH, they get medication free of charge and first class privilege. So each month, that came from only 1, 2, 3, and then it started to grow the group. Now each month we can get up to 4K to 10K, depending on how much amount and to donate. And even we have students, primary students, 5 ringgit, 10 ringgit also, they donate. And this year we are forming a charity fund. So we get it from the community and the society, we give it back. And we can do a lot of innovation, I call it, through technology. This is what I'm doing. I think, yep, let me, too many, okay. So this is actually a crowdfunding concept through technology. So few 10, 20 ringgit to 2,000 ringgit up to now 10,000. Then the amount is so big that we have to have a charity fund to manage it. And I'm doing probably, if I have time, I'm trying my best. I want to build a platform for all the NGOs, charity organizations, so that they can put on the online platform what they need, to raise fund or anything. The verification comes in, a lot of times there are fraud. So my job is to call in the press. When you submit a case, the press will go and check it out, interview you. If it is true, then it will be published, then we will raise fund for it nationwide. So people won't be cheated by all this fraud and so on. It will be a good thing. And these are technology. Last time what we did was web accessibility. Blind people cannot see website, but they can listen to website. So from 2007, I worked with St. Nicholas Home and USM. Each year we have a conference. When I was counselor, I made sure that all the Penang government website is web accessible. Means that when the blind is online, they can listen to the website. We had Maybank, I think AirAsia came, I think Great Eastern came. So all these so-called public facility, semi-public insurance, transportation, banks and so on has to provide all these facility. So this is not just me, you also can do it. Everyone can contribute with innovation and technology.